What's up everyone, my name is Zach and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be bringing you three spoiler-free reviews of brand new mystery thriller releases that are releasing right now. So welcome to my channel. If you haven't already, subscribing to my channel helps me out a ton. A like on the video goes a long way, and I would love to know, do you all want to read any three of these books? Are there other mystery and thrillers that are coming out this month or soon that you either want to read or would like to see reviews of? I would love to know. I have another video that's coming out in a few weeks, actually probably about 2 weeks from the time that you see this video. That is three more. I don't know why I always hold up two sets of three as if I'm reviewing six. This is a real problem at this point. Like, what the heck? Anyway, I will be reviewing three more mystery thriller with a horror in there, but new releases. Actually, two horrors and a YA mystery thriller at near the end of the month, and then a single video of a big mystery thriller release. So all I have to say, there's a lot of really good mystery and thrillers coming out right now. I am reviewing a lot of them, and I would love to know from you all, like, what else would you like to see? Are you going to read any of these? I want to know what the people are thinking about all these books that I'm reading, and that everyone else are reading. Like, what are you guys thinking about them? Are you enjoying them? Are you noticing any new tropes? All the things. Anyways, welcome to this video. It is going to be spoiler free, and I am going to give you all my thoughts about three new mystery and thriller books. Let's just get started. The first book that I want to talk about today is called The Mystery Writer. So this is by the author of The Woman in the Library, I believe it is called. It's a very popular mystery thriller book that came out, I think, last year or the year before. People either really loved it or really did not love it. I saw a lot of really positive reviews about it. I never got around to reading that one, which is going to be important for my review here. But I do want to say thank you to the publisher because I got an early copy of this on NetGalley. This book releases on March 19th, and it's being published by Poison Pen Press. And for my review of it, which I will explain in a moment, I gave it a very generous 3 out of 5 stars. Okay, so let's talk about what this book is about. We have to do this in two different ways. So the synopsis of the book says that it is about a young woman who is leaving law school and going to live with her brother, whose name is Gus, and she is going to try to write her first novel. Really, she wants to be an author. And in the synopsis, it says that Theo, the main female character, the one that's leaving law school and going to become an author, meets a very popular author who ends up dying, and then Gus, her brother, gets framed for the murder, and she is doing everything she can to clear his name. That's what the synopsis will tell you. It'll also tell you that there are some things about conspiracy theories and what have you. Read the synopsis, like truly. Often on my channel, I tell people, don't read the synopsis, go in knowing as little as possible. And you could do that if you want to just take what I'm saying. But one of the major aspects of the review that I wrote physically for this was that the synopsis is setting people up for failure. So maybe don't read it, or do, and then think about what I'm saying about the book. The synopsis makes you believe that this is a story about a girl who is trying to get a second career, and she's trying to help clear her brother's name of this murder of this very prolific author. There was also something else in the synopsis that I specifically wanted to point out. Let me pull it up for you guys. It says, so specifically in the synopsis, it says, but the writer has left a trail, a thread out of the labyrinth in the form of a story. Gus finds that thread and follows it, and in his attempt to save his sister, he inadvertently threatens the foundations of the labyrinth itself. So brother's the prime suspect. Theo's trying to clear his name. He's trying to protect her, okay? That's what the synopsis will tell you about the book. Those things are true. And what I got away from reading that synopsis going into this book was that it was going to be like a meta sort of situation where we have a book within a book, or we have like a lot of pieces of this thread that are being sold to us that are going to lead us to something else based off contents within a book. I thought it was going to be very meta, and maybe that's just my interpretation of the synopsis, and I kind of owned that in my review. What this book is actually about are conspiracy theorists and doomsday preppers, and I loved that aspect. Don't get me wrong. Actually, that aspect was the most interesting aspect of the story. So again, the things that remain true are we meet Theo, she's leaving law school, she's going to write her own novel, and she gets mentored by a really famous author who ends up being brutally murdered at the beginning of the book. That's in the synopsis, it's part of the setup. And then she's trying to figure out what happened to him. What the synopsis, I think, does not do a good job of setting people up for is, and I read some of other people's reviews that were kind of aligning with this, that like, it's just the cover is not doing it justice. It's setting you up for something that the book is not, and I'm feeling that because of the way that this book is being set up, that people are really not going to like it. And if they would have done marketing differently and wrote the synopsis differently, people would know what they're getting, and then the reviews wouldn't be as low, if that makes sense. But it's really about her trying to figure out what happened to this author. Meanwhile, a lot of the side characters that you're getting to know are involved in conspiracy theories, American and white nationalism, they're doomsday preppers, and all of that is kind of swirling around as we're uncovering what happened to this author. But it is like the main plot of the story. Like, and I'm thinking, I wish that the cover had like a creepy American flag on it, or like something, or like a bunker, something that would indicate to people that the main plot driver of this story is conspiracy theorists and doomsday preppers. Because for me personally, I find those things really interesting, but I started to get really frustrated because that's not what I was expecting to get from the novel. And by the end, it was just like, I just didn't care anymore. Like, I finished the book, but I ended up not liking the main character very much. I didn't like her relationship with her brother. I thought the ending felt very rushed and didn't make sense. Like, the first half of the book was like a 5-star setup, and then it just all went different directions that I felt was very disjointed. And I gave it a very generous 3 stars. And the reason I'm giving it 3 stars is because, and not something lower, because I'm fine with doing that, but I felt like 3 stars probably sums up my reading experience as a whole with the novel, and I didn't want to just focus on my disappointment of what I thought I was getting, because I don't necessarily think that that's fair, although I think it factors in. So I think my 3-star rating for that is fair and what I'm going to go with. I will try this author again in the future. And again, like, the doomsday prepper conspiracy theory aspects were interesting. It just felt like the whole time that we were leading to something else. And yeah, by the end of the book, I didn't end up liking the main character very much, and I did not like her relationship with her brother. I found it unsettling and kind of creepy at times. If you read the book, yeah, you'll see. Next book I'm going to talk about is one of my most anticipated releases of 2024. It's called How to Solve Your Own Murder. This releases on March 26th, and I do need to say thank you to Penguin Random House Audio for providing me, or gifting me, with an early audio copy of this, so I was able to listen to it. And then I also got a copy on NetGalley, so I could go back and forth and do mixed listening and reading from my experience of this novel. So I want to say thank you to the publisher for giving me early access to this so that I could review it for you all and help you decide if it's going to be for you or not. Okay, so How to Solve Your Own Murder is the story about Annie, a girl who is summoned to a quiet English village, to somewhere called Castle Knoll, where she is set to talk with her great aunt Frances, who has summoned her there for kind of unknown reasons, but she knows it's kind of related to Castle Knoll as a property and her inheritance, etc., etc. Okay, so this is a story about a dual timeline. When Annie gets in the present day timeline, when Annie gets to Castle Knoll, this is in the synopsis, it's not a spoiler, it's literally a setup of the book. Her great aunt is found dead. Okay, the whole time, her great aunt Frances, her whole life since she was a teenager and she went to get her like fortune, the fortune said, and it's like kind of this little riddle rhyme, said that she was going to die in like a certain way, and there's like this riddle and rhyme that you follow throughout the book. And the whole time, her great aunt Frances was like, I am going to die. And that shaped her great aunt Frances's whole life. Like, she made certain choices based off what this fortune said, and told her about her life. Okay, so in present day, Annie is investigating the death, and it looks like murder, of her great aunt. And she's also partaking in kind of like this game to try to figure out what happened in order to win the inheritance, because there's a few other people who are trying to do that. And then if no one can solve it, then the estate will go to someone else, like the detective, or I think it was the detective or the publisher. I don't know. It was something odd. It was someone else. And then in the past, we're following, so again, equally told past and present, we're actually following Frances in her teen years, where like a lot of really odd things happened to her. Again, she got this fortune, and then one of her close best friends goes missing. And so in the past, we're trying to figure out what happened to her best friend, and there's kind of this air of this murder mystery or missing persons mystery in the past, and then the death and murder in the present with this like inheritance thing going on, right? So that was really cool. We get this like dual timeline. We're kind of getting two for the price of one. We're getting two mysteries that we're trying to solve. We're getting to know a lot of different characters. The thing that shone through to me, I gave it an overall 3.5 out of 5 stars. The first 2/3 of it was a 5-star book, and then the last third fell off the rockers for me. But what I want to tell you as a setup for this book is, if you like Truly Devious, the Inheritance Games, and Knives Out, if you mixed all three of those together, that is How to Solve Your Own Murder. It's Truly Devious, Knives Out, and the Inheritance Games. Like those all three equal parts mixed up into one for this book. And that sounds really good, right? And I really did enjoy those aspects. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the mystery. I enjoyed a lot of it, right? Until the last third of the book, where it deeply fell off for me. You guys know I don't like too many twists. I just don't like that. And the last third of the book, we were just going round and round and round and round and round and round and round again. The exact same like mystery over and over and over again, from same or similar angles, where it felt like nothing new was being developed or like revealed to us. And I was just like, oh my gosh, if we go over this one more time, I'm going to lose it. I mean, granted, each time there was like a little bit more revealed, but it's like you could have done all of this a lot faster and in a more condensed form. Like this did not need to be as long as it is, period. And I don't know that I've ever really said that. That's not something I usually feel about books. Like, long books are fine by me. I don't mind when things are stretched out, but this just felt like too much. It felt like too much. The audio narration is very good if you want to take it in on audio. I actually recommend that, especially for the last third. Like, you maybe want to be cleaning house and stuff. The thing is, you're going to get roped in. You're going to get to know the characters. You're going to get invested in both of the mysteries, and you're going to want to know what happens. I didn't want to DNF this book, but by the last third, I was like, can we wrap it up? Like, let's just wrap this up. This is a series. I don't know if I'll continue the series or not. We'll see how intriguing the next book sounds. But we do get some really interesting characters. The writing is fine. You do build this really interesting atmosphere. Again, that sort of Knives Out, Inheritance Games, Truly Devious vibes really are there. It's a very atmospheric book. It's also a very like cozy mystery. So if you like cozy mysteries, I think that you'll enjoy this book. I think a lot of people are going to like it. I just was like really hung up on the last third. Like I could not rate it higher than 3.5 stars because of that. It just really drug out. And then there were so many, well, then there's this and this and this to the twist. And I was just like, but it could have just been the first thing, and that would have been fine for me. I'm fine with like a little bit more too, like a little bit more explanation or like one more little thing, but it was just like round and round and round. And I was like, oh, this has got to end before I lose my mind. But the first 2/3 were like very whodunit, atmospheric, cozy situation, and for that I really did enjoy that aspect of it. Okay, and the last book that I'm going to review for you guys, I actually have a physical copy of from Book of the Month, and that's called Kill for Me, Kill for You. This actually releases on March 19th, so you guys are seeing this a few days before the actual book releases in stores, but Book of the Month gave us an early copy of this. I actually got declined on NetGalley for this, but it's okay. I still got a copy and I'm still reviewing it. I'm not salty. It's fine. Anyways, this is an amazing book. I gave this book 5 stars. It was by far my favorite book that I read in this video. Amazing, amazing book. I flew through it. Let me set you up for it. This is one where, like, I'm going to give you a fine setup, and I actually think the synopsis, A, does it justice, and B, does not tell you too much. So reading the synopsis for this is a good idea. Anyways, we are getting involved in 3 people's lives in this story. So we're getting involved in Ruth's life. She was just brutally, and I mean like gruesomely, attacked in her home by a man with piercing blue eyes. That is a trend throughout the book of her trying to figure out what happened and who this person could be. So like she was brutally attacked, and it's described in like some pretty gruesome details. It's not cozy like the last book that I told you guys about. And so we have her storyline where she's trying to figure out what happened to her, who did it, why they did it, and like hopefully help the police catch him. And then enter Amanda and Wendy, and together they in the past have experienced really horrific crimes in their families. So Amanda's husband died by suicide after their child was murdered, and then like similar situation for Wendy where her kid was also killed and she's trying to avenge. They're both trying to avenge the deaths of their children and their loved ones. So they meet. This is like in a separate like POV, like you're following two different storylines, and they meet after going to a support group for people who have had traumatic loss in their lives. And then one night at a bar after their support group, they're just casually talking, and they kind of come up with this deal of like, you killed a person that, you know, harmed me, and I'll kill the person that harmed you. So kill for me, kill for you. And they set out to do just that. Like they are going to kill for each other to try to avenge each other's deaths. Now, the reason you might be wondering, why can't they just do it themselves? That was something I was wondering too going into this book. You will find out why they each can't do it themselves. There's a different reason for it for each, and you'll figure that out when you go into this. Amazing book, great plot twist, held my attention all the way through. We're also getting the perspective of Ruth, the person who was attacked. We get the perspective of her husband at times. And then there's also a detective that's involved in both cases named Detective Faro. We get his perspective of kind of what's happening, not only with Ruth and the investigation of the person that was attacked, but with the two women and kind of what's going on with their situation. And I really liked him as a character. I liked that his perspective was thrown in there. He's not in the book as much as the other people that I've described, but it was kind of nice to go from like being intensely focused on these stories to kind of being pulled out and looking at it from the detective's lens. And same with the husband. I thought this book was amazing. I've never read anything by this author, but I definitely want to check out other things. The pacing made sense. Like it wasn't too fast, but it wasn't too slow. I would definitely say that this is a thriller, where the other two books that I've reviewed were like definitely How to Solve Your Own Murder was a mystery, and I would say The Mystery Writer was like a mystery thriller combination. This is all thriller. Like the whole time we're kind of on our edge of our seat trying to figure out what happened to Ruth and trying to follow these two women as they're trying to avenge other people's crimes or losses, I guess. Yeah, this is definitely at times like a good for her sort of story. It's a revenge story. There's a lot of commentary on revenge and is it worth it? And does it actually fix anything or make anything better? There's a shocking ending. I just, all in all, really loved this book a lot. By far, standout, my favorite in this video. And I hope that you'll pick it up. And if you pick up any books from this video, I always say, Discord is linked down below. It's free for everyone. If you want to join the Discord, you can meet new people, talk about books with. You can also message me over on Discord, and I would love to talk with you guys about the endings of some of these books, especially The Mystery Writer, because I want to talk about what the F. And then also I would love to talk about the ending of this because I just loved it so much. All right, the three books that I read in this video were The Mystery Writer, which I gave a very generous 3 stars, How to Solve Your Own Murder, which I gave 3.5 stars, and then Kill for Me, Kill for You, which I gave 5 stars and was by far my favorite of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do want to take time to give a very special thank you to the Mostly Ghostly crew, which is my channel membership. They support my channel every month through that. They vote on content that I do every month. We have a hangout every month. We have a book club where we read a book together every other month. And there's a lot of other benefits. So if you want to join my channel membership, that's linked down below. And then I'll leave you guys with this. I want to give a very special thank you to you for watching this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Here we go again, you think by now I know better. Locked in my head, romanticizing forever.